I married a monster, a woman cries out. It's a very sad story. Let's hear the story.
6 weeks ago, I was changing my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and I noticed that when I changed her, she was red and very sensitive. And immediately, my first thought was, did someone touch her? Oh God. Gosh. So I asked her, I said, baby, did somebody touch you? And she ended up saying it was Daddy. I felt like my world ended on that day.
That's her story. She married a man that was molesting her kids. She's a content creator, a TikToker, and a YouTuber. And her brand is about finding a high value man. Her brand is about hypergamy, looking for men that have money and getting married to them. And she has been coaching women on how to do that.
My husband wasn't home at the time when she told me, but I knew he would be coming home soon, so all I could do was just say, don't tell him that you told me. And I just instantly started trying to think of how I could get my kids out of the house. Because I knew if I confronted him or asked him about it, that he would just lie. And that he would probably just continue to keep doing stuff to her, but just become more covert or more sneaky or whatever. As soon as my husband got home, he was actually picking up the boys from school, my 2 older boys from school. As soon as he got home, I told him that I was gonna go Halloween shopping with my sister because I just needed an excuse to get out of the house with all the kids. And I knew if I said something like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store, that it would be suspicious. Like, why am I bringing all the kids and like packing things, like things that we would need and things like that. So going Halloween shopping was the best thing I could think of to just hurry up and get the kids out of the house. I'm sorry, I had to get myself together. So when I got to the hospital, they basically told me that we had to go to another hospital because they didn't do physical exams, like that kind of physical exam there. So a police officer escorted the kids and I to another hospital where they were able to evaluate my daughters. It ended up coming out that he had actually been touching both of my daughters, who are only 2 and 4 years old. It still feels like a dream.
After the incident, she left her husband. A little backstory: she got pregnant when she was 17. She had her first child. 2 years later or thereabouts, she had her second child. So before she met this man, she had about 2 to 3 kids. And then she met this man that she got married to. She got married to this man in 1 week. They met in 1 week and they got married in 1 week. They met online. And even before they got married, she moved into the man's house with her family, her kids. Her husband is 20 years older than her. She met him when she was 24. Let's watch the backstory of how they met.
And so, you know,
he was talking, my lease was going to be ending very soon, which is why I went ahead and moved in with my person that became my ex. We started living together, and I told my husband, I was like, hey, it was so embarrassing to admit, but I was like, I need a place to stay because my lease is ending and I just broke up with my boyfriend, and maybe even if it's just like for a couple weeks, it's okay. Just so I look for, somewhere else, because I had planned on needing to find somewhere else. And he was saying, well, if you're going to live with me, it's going to be as my wife, not as my girlfriend. And I was like, well, how spontaneous are you? And he laughed and he said, very spontaneous. So then I was like, right. So we started entertaining the idea of getting married, like immediately. And I, didn't want to get my hopes up. So I just said that, he's saying all these things, but I'm going to see what action that he takes. And so I had just got paid, and I was like, okay, it seems like we're really talking about seriously entertaining the idea of getting married. So I'm going to go and get the wedding ring. We were talking about getting married like the next week, and he was out of town in Colorado, so we hadn't seen each other. This was all talk over phone, over FaceTime. So I went and got his ring. I think I paid like $300 for it. It wasn't like a super flashy ring like the one he has now, which is completely a lot better. But I went and got his ring, and the next time we talked on FaceTime, I was like, I did something. And he was like, what did you do? I was like, I got your wedding ring. So he was like, no, you didn't. Show me. So I showed him. I was like, yeah, I actually did it. I don't know if you were really being serious, but we're talking about getting married. So I had a really bad habit of like spending money, and I was like, if I don't get the ring now, then I'm not gonna get it. So I went ahead and got it, and that put the fire under him to, I guess, really go and look for my ring. Well, let me rewind. So then after that, I think it was like the next day, somebody told me to go online and check my eHarmony profile. So I went on there and I saw that he had updated his picture, and I was like, oh no, this dude is playing around. Like, I'm glad I didn't spend a whole bunch of money on this ring. Like, he was just playing. And I screenshotted it and sent him a picture, and I said, it doesn't seem like we're on the same page, so yeah, I'm done with this. And he texted me. He was like, or I think he tried to call me, I didn't answer. And he texted me and he was like, no, I'm serious. I am going to marry you, in caps. And I think that evening he like ended up going and buying my ring. Yeah, he went and bought my ring.
That's not the end of it. She's got a longer version of the video on her channel. She's got up to 60 videos on her channel. Like I said, she is a content creator that coaches women on how to find rich men to get married to. She was 7, and she learned a lot from her on how to get high value men. I mean, not high value per se, but that's what they call it. People that have money, but to me that's not high value anyways. So she decided to be coaching women because she found her own bag, her own rich man. According to her story, when she got married to this man looked like a good man, a Christian man and all that. The first 6 months, he raped her 4 times. She also added that she was a product of rape. Yeah, her mom was raped. And she also experienced child abuse when she was young. Her neighbor was also raping her as well. That's too much on her. So she vowed that she would protect her children and make sure they never experienced what she experienced, not knowing that her husband was doing the same to them under her nose. This man is not the father of those kids. I think so. She just had a baby a month ago. She has a newborn baby a month ago, I guess, for the man. And she said it's up to a month that she left the man. It's a very sad story. This story was a shocker to a lot of people, especially her followers, people that she's been coaching on how to find rich men and all that. And this story got people talking about, oh, should we trust all men? Should we practice hypergamy and all that? Let's hear what some people are saying.
I hate myself right now. I hate myself that I can't just go about my day, act like a normal person, and move on from this story. I can't. I've spent the last 4 years of my life studying at the feet of all these hypergamy and femininity coaches. Why? Because under this patriarchal system, marriage is a means of financial security. Marriage is a means of social status and protection within society. A married woman is afforded social protections and graces and perceptions that single women are not afforded. You guys need to understand the system of patriarchy that we live under. And simply by having a ring and being a wife, you are afforded a different set of privileges that single women don't get. It's just a fact. This is the system that we live under. So was I wrong for centering men? Was I wrong for pursuing this path? Was I wrong for trying to secure my future in this way? And following all these influences? And studying under Sprinkle Sprinkle and studying the new trophy wife? And trying to become more feminine and attempting to learn femininity? For the sole goal of securing a marital contract that would allow me financial security for generations to come? Of course I wasn't. I was covering my behind. So excuse me if I am beyond devastated by this story. And this story hits a little closer to home than I care to admit. Than I actually want to come out and admit. But I'm heartbroken. Like, I haven't gotten out of bed today. I have not been able to get out of bed yet so far. And I hate that. I hate that I'm so emotionally attached to this person, this lifestyle, this ideology, this idea, this illusion of romance and fairy tale and a happy family. And oh my God, it's earth shattering that this 4B movement shit is not a fucking joke. It's the real deal. That securing your physical safety and your psychological safety is going to have to take precedent over gaining financial security through a marriage contract. It's just. And it's funny because one of my first pinned videos is don't get married. And as much as I wanted to believe that marriage is not for me, deep down, the patriarchal programming is so pervasive that I was not going to let this marriage shit go. I was not going to let that fairy tale go. I was not going to let the illusion of happily ever after go. I just couldn't. I physically couldn't. But this right here, this situation just might be my final straw. It just might be the end. It just might be end it all for me. It just might be the reason that I take this 4B movement and run with it to the grave.
I don't know if I have a better way to say this, but I've been saying this all the time. The center man. Pour into yourself. You will never regret it. Center yourself. Make it all about yourself. If you date a poor man, a broke man, it's a problem. If you date a man that is not too rich, it's a problem. If you date a man that is too rich, it's a problem. So why don't you center yourself, knowing that men are unpredictable? You can't tell. Some might be pretentious. It's hard to tell the heart of men. Why would you want to gamble it? The best bet is for you to focus on yourself, because you will never disappoint yourself. And it's important for you to be independent, have your own money, do your own thing. Don't go and marry a man because he has money. That's you submitting yourself to be his property. They already told us we are their property, and we are fighting against that. We are trying to prove a point. So you're going to marry a man because he has money and you want to have money through him. That's you signing off your life to him. You're telling him, do to me as you wish. Of course, I believe that should be his plan all along. And you see that term trophy woman, is very dangerous. Don't let any man put you on a pedestal, because you're not supposed to act normal. You're supposed to always be that lady looking good and glamorous so they can show you off. It's stressful. It takes away the humanity in you. It takes away the fact that your man is supposed to recognize that you're a human being as he is. When a man sees you as a trophy, there's some things you would do that will be a turn off to him. And those things are things that normal human beings do, because they've seen you in a certain way. You're not supposed to do this. You're always supposed to look pretty and have makeup on and dress nice, which is possible, but it's tasking. So you need to think twice. If your plan is to marry a rich man and get rich through him, you need to think twice.
In my marriage, there's been times where I've been being super spoiled. There's been times I've...
Okay, ladies. Come now. Okay, so the young lady in the video that I stitched just now, I guess they call her, she built her brand as the trophy wife, but I think they say her real name is Isis. But she talks about how she follows Shara Seven and even Kevin Samuels, RIP. But and she ended up finding a guy. She ended up getting married, I think, very early. And I think they maybe been married maybe 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure. So she built this brand on being a trophy wife. And there's a story out now where she found out that her husband SA'd both of her children, ages 2 and 4. This is so heartbreaking. And coming from somebody who was SA'd by their biological father, this hits really hard, and this hits really close to home for me. And ladies, I just wanted to come on, and I just wanted to first send my heart out to the young lady who is experiencing this traumatic experience. It's definitely I know it's a tough pill to swallow. And just imagine me coming from that. And it was my biological father, not my stepfather, not somebody my mom was dating. This was actually my father, somebody that actually birthed me, or played a part in birthing me. So I can truly relate to her pain, and I can truly relate to the psychological effects that is going to take place on those children based on what has happened to them. But I really wanted to come on, and I really wanted to address the ladies. Listen, you have to realize that you were birthed into a patriarchal system. And with this system, you was groomed. Since birth, you was conditioned and you were programmed to center your lives around men, to center your lives around getting married for security and safety and status. But what we really have to do, we have to educate ourselves on the psychological aspect of men. We have to really understand how men think and how men operate in order for us to really be able to deal with them in the capacity that we deal with them. And I understand, relationship, marriage, fine. If that's what you want, fine. But you have to be more educated when it comes to dealing with these men. You have to vet these men more in depth before you get into a relationship with these men. Do not be so hard up, and do not be so man focused to the point to where you don't take your time to really try to get to know the man before you just all of a sudden have them in your house around your kids. Now y'all in this full-blown relationship. And listen, all I'm telling you is make sure that you are secure within yourself, not just mentally, not just physically, not just spiritually, but financially as well. Make sure that you're able to sustain yourself. Make sure that you're able to secure yourself. Make sure that you're able to protect yourself. So when you see signs that you need to get out, that you are in a position to get out. A lot of people, a lot of women will still hear this message and it will go over their head because they're just so indoctrinated with the system that has been built for us to the point to where they just cannot detach from it. But women, I am begging you and I am pleading with you to stop centering men. This is your life. You are an individual too. You have the abilities to fulfill and sustain yourself outside of a man. You really have all of that for yourself. So the ideology that you are holding on to is not really been as beneficial for women as you think that it has. Educate yourself. Sustain yourself. Build financial wealth for yourself. Secure yourself before you try to go out here and get in these relationships, because at the end of the day, it is our responsibility and it is our duty to protect the kids that we bring into this world. It is our obligation and it is our duty to protect them. They cannot protect themselves at the vulnerable states. Listen, y'all. Get yourself together. Make sure you together. Make sure that you can move whenever it's time for you to move, no matter what the circumstances is. Stop centering men and make yourself the center of your own life.
For those of us that are in doubt, wondering and asking, is it all men? Here is my answer. Majority. Almost all men are this way. No jokes. And do you know why? They are all enrolled in the same program. Imagine having the same classmates, being taught the same thing. What do you think? They will reason the same way, almost the same way. They will view life the same way. Imagine having kids being enrolled in a certain program, taught by the same teachers. What do you think is going to happen? They are most likely to have similar belief. They're most likely to see life the same way, understand life the same way. The only difference is going to be their family. If a child goes home and the mom teaches him a different thing and makes him understand that whatever you're teaching you, you should not practice it. That's the point where we believe that some men are different. Some men did not hold on to those teachings. Some men were not enrolled into this program. And some men that were enrolled into this program, when they realized what the system is doing, they yanked themselves off, they unlearned what they've learned, and they learned better things. So those are the few exceptions. But majority of men are this way. They're programmed to think this way. I'm not saying that majority of men are going to essay their children, but some of them, most of them, they have that opportunity, they will, because it's all about sex. For them, they're looking for something that has a hole where they can put their stuff inside. It's all about sex for them. And they don't care whoever that has the hole, just want to insert, plug in their stuff. You get what I mean? But I'm not saying all men will want to do that to their children. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. But a lot of men wouldn't mind if it's their daughter. They just want to have sex. If you'd love to watch more videos like this, click this video to watch men equating a woman's value to her beauty. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.